Secretary of State Steve Simon, how does Minnesota compare to other states in the United States and around the Midwest in terms of people actually getting out and voting? Why is that important?
Right. Well, we've got a really good thing going in Minnesota, although there's always room for improvement. Minnesota is almost always at the very top of the list when it comes to voter turnout. In fact, until the 2014 election, Minnesota was #1 in the country for 9 elections in a row. 9 in a row. That's a tremendous record of achievement that you would be proud of. However, in 2014, we fell off a bit. We fell to #6. Now that's still good. 44 states would kill to be #6, and #6 is nothing to sneeze at. But I aim to get us up closer towards that top of the list again. And we can do that because we have a tradition in Minnesota, and I would explain our great record of accomplishment in voting in 2 ways. This is just my theory. I think the first reason why it's been the case for so long has to do with just culture. Our Minnesota culture. There's something about our culture in Minnesota that tends to reward and encourage civic participation of all kinds. Not just voting, but certainly including voting. And I think that's a good thing. The second reason I would say that we've almost always been at the top of the list has to do with the laws that we've passed over the last 3 or 4 decades. On a bipartisan basis, we have more or less, and most of the time, had a consensus that we want to reward voter participation. Just like the tie goes to the runner in baseball, the tie should go to the voter when it comes to legislation. If there's any doubt about a piece of legislation, we ought to err, as we have traditionally, on the side of access and inclusion and participation. So it's that kind of sense that I think has created a fabric of laws, some of which we've discussed today, that have really encouraged voter participation. That said, we can always do better. And I think part of doing better means passing some extra laws to allow more freedom and flexibility for people to vote in a way that makes sense for them. But it also means having those conversations, one after another, after another, after another, with people who are on the fence about voting, who aren't sure that it makes a difference, who aren't sure they want to reward a system that maybe they're suspicious of or cynical about. And that takes a lot of work by a lot of people, not just me and not just my office, but people of goodwill like your viewers all over the state of Minnesota. We can do that. I know we can.
We are proud of Minnesota's record of voter participation, and we need to improve upon our already good record. Minnesota Secretary of State Steve Simon, thank you for your service to the people of Minnesota as you encourage all Minnesotans to vote and to aid Minnesotans in exercising this very important constitutional responsibility.